Hi guys, I'm Kyle with Power Pro Equipment, one of the many equipment doctors here. Here to do a comparison video between Hustler's new X-Ride and the Ferris 3300. Gonna show you a unbiased review. We sell both of these pieces of equipment. Just wanting to see how they operate across the grass and how they handle in day-to-day operations. So stay tuned, we'll get more into it.
At Power Pro, we have the power you need.
So we will start here with the Hustler X-Ride. This is a brand new model to Hustler here in 2024. What they essentially did was take the same solid mower frame and add this seat platform in it that pivots up here at the front, and it has a single shock then in the back that you can adjust. What this is able to do is give you a solid platform that gets you have the movement between you and the yard, so that way you, the operator, are comfortable, but it doesn't sacrifice any of the componentry and deficiencies that might be with suspension components that cause wear and tear over the course of a machine. They have the VX4 deck on this, which is Hustler's premier deck. They run this on the same models as the Super Z and the Super Z Hyperdrive. The pumps are the only thing that's a little bit different. Instead of the Super Z and Super Z Hyperdrive that has their 16cc pumps and their Hyperdrive Danfoss 20cc, this has two Hydro Gear 4400s. The reason they did this is because of the shock setup that they have on it. They weren't able to fit the tank that needed for the other one, so the Hydros aren't quite what the Super Zs are, but they're still very robust Hydros that they use the same ones in Skag and some of the other models as well in the mower line. They added on this machine the Kawasaki Evo 34.5 horse EFI engine, new engine that Kawasaki has. Gives you the power that you want, but is able to save yourself some fuel with the amount of cc's it has. Dual tank. So hopping onto the seat of the X-Ride, what you will notice when you sit down, wow, that sits nice. When you sit down on the machine, the seat operates separate from what the joysticks are. It's not by much. So when you bring them in, you will notice when you're mowing that you might move a little bit and your joysticks don't. It's not much at all, and guys will feel a little bit different initially, but you get used to it very quickly. You don't notice much difference. The biggest thing is Hustler has their patented setup with an e-brake. So when you open up your setup, you open up your arms, your e-brake's automatically applied. They also have their smooth track steering. This machine operates, and same thing with their Super Zs and their Hyperdrives, I think as far as handling wise and operation is one of the smoothest in the industries. Exmark makes a great machine, Skag does, Ferris does as well. But the steering on the Hustler is, in my opinion, bar none of anybody's. So here on the Ferris 3300, they were the first machine ever built with independent front suspension and on the rear then as well. So this was truly is one of the machines that was a couch with a cutting deck, lazy boy with a cutting deck, not the lazy boy that the kid down the street. But this machine, when you're running, it feels like you're on a cloud, and that suspension is a big part of it. Now, give or take your opinion on the suspension, I grew up as a mechanic, so as in the vehicle realm of things, your two most expensive components you replace on a car is both your brakes and your suspension. That's my only reservation that I have with Ferris, because I know what happens is suspension components will wear out at some point. There's a cost to that where you won't have that on the X-Ride, but it does ride very well. So moving back here to the engine, what they use on this one is a Vanguard 36 horsepower. Gives you plenty of power for what you need. Able to travel at about the same speed as what the X-Ride is, with able to keep your blade tip speed up as well. They use in this machine a Hydro Gear 5400, which is a very good transmission as well. Same one similar to what Hustler uses, just slightly larger. Going to their cutting deck, they have their ICD technology. Good cut. I don't have many complaints with it. The biggest thing I come back to is the VX4 deck is, again, I think one of the best cuts in the industry. Hopping on the station here of the 3300, the thing I can notice right out of the start is you don't have as much leg room as what you do on the Hustler. You're in here a little bit tighter. You can adjust your seat, so you can adjust your seat forward and back. And so you can give yourself a little more leg room if you need. Unlike the Hustler, you have this little pesky thing here called a parking brake, which I don't like to have, but most everyone else has it, so you get used to it. It drives nice. Again, the smooth track steering on the Hustler, I think, is one of the best in the industry. So you will notice a difference in that riding wise, you get a little bit more feedback through the sticks on the Ferris than what you do on the Hustler. The only thing is, if you are preference to not wanting your seat to move separate from the joysticks, because it gets its suspension through the A-arms, essentially independent suspension on the front and rear, your operator station is like a traditional zero turn where it kind of sits here stationary along with your arms. So you'll feel very comfortable in that same setup. It's not going to be much different. So some of the differences I want to discuss here between the two machines, because I feel like Hustler wanted to go at the market that Ferris has dominated for so long as far as a comfort mower. The biggest thing, like I said, is the suspension components on the Ferris. It can lead to some costly points down the road as far as maintenance. You're gonna have, just like your suspension in your vehicle, you're gonna have wear out in bushings, you're gonna have wear out in shocks, and this is going across grass, not pavement. So that's one of the things that I'm not a huge fan of, but it's what they need to do to be able to get the ride that they have. The other thing that I have heard from some people is they're saying this is better because it keeps all points of contact on the grass, which yes, it does. Hustler has options to be able to do that same feature. But the thing I have heard from some of my customers is when you are turning, it's just like in your vehicle. When you're turning left and you're rocking, you get some flex here on the front corners where it can cut lower and scalp in some instances on the front corner of the deck, whichever way you're turning, whether it be right or whether it be left. So that is one of the things, again, why Hustler used a fixed frame design versus this design. Now, I can say from running this mower back and forth here, feeling the two, right now, I think the Ferris does ride a little bit better than the X-Ride. The main point being that it has some of that impact that you take out from the front, and it's able to oscillate a little bit more. What you can do to the Hustler is have the option of getting flex forks on this unit. I've ran both of these, this unit with flex forks and this one set up obviously the way it is. When you have flex forks on the Hustler, in my opinion, they're almost identical. I'm not gonna say this one's better than this one, but I'm saying they're very similar ride quality. You're not gonna notice much of a difference, and it has the same benefits that this does of having points of contact. The difference is you will notice that the smooth track steering, this one's gonna run smoother and be a little nicer. And again, wear items, cost of ownership as you own this mower is gonna be less on the Hustler because you don't have to worry about the suspension components as much as what you do on the Ferris. So as much as I love the Ferris and I think this is a great product, I do think Hustler hit it out of the park with this mower to be able to come at the market to have a comfortable mower, but at a lot less cost of ownership and have the same smoothness that Hustler has and has always prided themselves with in steering. So if you like this video, what I'd like you to do is like, subscribe, and hit the little bell. We're gonna hopefully be more videos of comparisons just like this to be able to show you guys where the market is and be able to help you with your future prescriptions. So if you wanna have for more information on the Ferris or the Hustler, get a hold of us at one of our 9 locations. PowerPro has 9 of them there, and you'll see that drop down there. We're more than happy to help you, either myself or one of our other team members. Be more than happy to assist you and get you set up in a mower that suits your needs.
PowerPro, the power you need.